Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt and welcome to New Brick Workshop. Well, finally it's time to clean the block paving on my driveway. Now, it was delayed a little bit because I had to have some work done, and I thought the obvious time to do it is after the work was done on the driveway. Now, the various bits of kit that you need, very simple indeed. Pressure washer, pair of wellies, some water from a hose, some tools to get bits of moss out, which may be between the bricks. And it's really important, if you're using a pressure washer on block paving, you must finish up by putting some kiln-dried sand down between the gaps in the block paving. Now, it's optional whether you use some of the various chemicals that come with either your pressure washer or the things you can buy on the internet like this Wet and Forget. Now, ages ago, I used some of the Wet and Forget in a little spray gun to put a large letter P just here. And unfortunately, because of the lighting right now, you can't see where that might have been. I've got a photograph. I hope it shows in the photograph. Anyway, the Wet and Forget has made a slight difference to the long-term look of the letter P. It seems as though the block paving where the spray went is not quite as dark as the other. However, the moss, which grows between the bits of block paving, still continued to grow. So it's your choice whether you decide to use a product like this after you've done the cleaning. Now, of course, you're going to have to sweep or maybe even leaf blow your driveway to get rid of all the debris. But before you do that, you need to get rid of the moss, which may have grown up between the various bits of block paving, and any weeds, of course. Now, a useful gadget is something like this. You can get these as cheap as chips. They come with a pole and a little brush on the end, and they're about £5 in your local garden shop. And the stiff brush just goes along like this and very easily gets rid of the moss. And tedious as it might seem, it's really important to have a really good brush, because otherwise you're going to make it just all the more messy when you come to use the pressure washer. Now, in this area of the block paving, the sun rarely shines, and you can see the block paving has gone quite dark, and it's contrasted by where we had a tub just here, and you can see the lightness around the edges where the tub has been. So this area really does need a bit of extra effort. Now, I've connected the water, I've turned it on, but I've not connected the electricity, and it's really important just to let the water flow through the system, get rid of all the air before plugging in and turning the power on. That should be enough. And now I'll go and plug in and turn the power on. And at this stage, let me remind you, whenever you're using a pressure washer, always use some form of safety glasses. They could be your sunglasses if they've got plastic lenses, but please always wear safety glasses. So I've connected the power, I've turned the power on here, and the machine will now operate. Now, I'm going to use some of this Karcher stone and paving cleaner. Now, if you've seen my original Karcher video, you may have heard me say that I wasn't sure whether this was any good. Well, actually, subsequently, I have found that it does make a difference. So I'm going to use this as a pre-treatment, and you put it on with minimum pressure. And with this K5, all you do is you remove the cap and drop it in like so, and that's it, ready to go. And you set this onto the softest setting. Now, basically, by having this on the soft setting, all you're actually using this for is as a delivery tool of that stone cleaner. It's important with any chemical, if it doesn't say explicitly on the bottle or the packet that it's safe for plants, always assume it's not safe and be careful of any plants you have in the garden. And you can see how quick and easy it is to put this on. It doesn't need to be on for very long. As soon as I finish this, I can start using the pressure washer to take this off and also the grime underneath. So I'm now going to remove the wand, and I'm going to attach this gadget, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, with some pressure washers, you have no choice whether it's in hard or soft. It's always best to have this in the soft position if you're on block paving. And at this stage, we now remove the bottle of Jollop. Now I'll try and give you an impression of before and after. If I just clear a patch through here, and I'll just get the water away. I think you can see it really does make a difference, and it's actually getting quite a lot of the ingrained mossiness out. If I just go over this a little bit. I think you can see where I had that line of moss there, most of it is gone. There's still a bit there, but it's nothing to worry about. Now just look how much cleaner that block paving is. It's really, really good. Now I've finished doing all of the work with the pressure washer, but I just want to emphasize one thing. The reason I got this particular pressure washer was because it came with this attachment, and this attachment has the ability to adjust it from a soft to a hard jet, and I've been using it in the soft position, and this really does not disturb the sand which is in between the blocks very much. It does get rid of some of the moss and algae, but it doesn't really go deep down because it's not putting that downward pressure. If you use the pressure wand, you're going to force the sand out from between the blocks. So either use this or don't use the pressure washer at all. Now we're at the stage now where we're going to use the kiln dried sand to fill any of the gaps that may have appeared between the blocks. Now it's really important to use kiln dried sand because it will flow really easily between the gaps in the blocks. And so I've set up a little demo just to show you how easy it will flow. I'm going to put some of this sand into this watering can. The watering can is bone dry. And I hope you can see here we've got a few gaps in these blocks. Now I'm going to try and demonstrate how easy this flows. Now this is not the way we're going to be applying it, but I hope you can see that it's going down in between the gaps really easily. And because it's dry, it flows almost like water. That's the idea. But that's not how we're going to apply it. We're going to apply it in a far more sensible way. Now it really is important to make sure you've allowed the blocks to dry thoroughly before you do this particular stage. The reason is you don't want the kiln dried sand to be made wet as soon as it hits the blocks. You want everything to be nice and dry. And then all you're going to do is spread it. You're going to spread it in several different directions so it goes down in between those gaps. Now a bag of kiln dried sand will go quite a long way. I honestly don't know how much I'll need for my whole driveway, but it does pay from time to time to fill the gaps. And the reason you do this is because the gaps filled with sand help to unite the whole surface of the blockwork together. It makes it stronger. It means that you can drive across it to and fro lots of times without causing any problems whatsoever. And I bought my kiln dried sand from Wicks, and I paid the going rate and no discount. I can't remember how much it was. It's not a huge amount, but the amount of benefit you get by using it on your driveway is enormous, and it really will make your driveway last longer and you won't need to do any repairs. But do make sure when you're using kiln dried sand that the blockwork you're applying it to is thoroughly dry. So do it on a really nice hot day and don't get it wet at all until you've finished. Now when you're brushing the sand in, you can go in more or less any direction you like to start with. But for the finishing strokes, go at 45 degrees to the pattern of the actual paving stones themselves. So it's like this, and then finish up like this. That way the bristles on the brush don't push any of the sand out from between the cracks, which is where you want the sand to go, of course. And it really is a great benefit if you do this on a really nice warm day so everything is dry. Now if you've got a driveway which has drainage like I have here, and you're doing all the messy part of the process, then block off any drainage holes you have with something like an old yogurt pot like this one, or something else. If the size of the hole is a bit marginal, then tie a bit of string or something around it. But this should stop the stones and most of the grit from going down into your soakaway or whatever drainage you've got where you are. And at the end of the day, you then take this away, clean out any gullies, and then your drainage can be back in operation once again. Well, that's it, the work's done. We've just actually had a shower of rain, so it perhaps doesn't look at its best right now, but take my word for it, it's a huge improvement on what it was before. Many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.